So I am live. I'm here all by my lonesome, and we're gonna see if anyone shows up. It's supposed to be a group chat between myself, Aidan Lisney, and Nikola Krisick. So we'll see. I'll share the link right in the chat. Does this work? Right in the live chat. So we'll see. It's like herding cats trying to get these people together because I don't think the time zone thing is a big issue, but it's just schedules, getting the schedules to match up. But it is 9 p.m. They both said they're in. I know what it's like on a weekday evening. Things happen. So they may or may not show up. We'll see. Right now, I'll just chit chat to kill the time. I'm excited. I'm very excited to be working on the archives. The archives of CVS. I've got some pre-recorded audio only episodes. I think you've seen on my website. I've published some of them. I'm working on right now. I'm working on Kieran Part 2. So maybe I'll show you. How can I do this? How can I do this? Maybe I'll show you. Makes it easier if I just show you. So you can see Aidan Part 1. Aidan Lisney, Part 1 down here. That was recorded on June 23rd, 2019. And, oh, lo and behold. Hey, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. I was just talking about you. We're actually live already.
No way. Who's joining? Who's in?
Nikola.
Oh, that's awesome.
Supposed to be, but do you check your emails regularly, or?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get my most recent email? I guess you did because it has a link in it, right?
Yeah. It just said group chat, click link. Right?
Yeah. But there was one just before that. I don't know if I included you in it where Nicola's like, oh, nobody likes me and it's not happening and whatever. I'm like, no, Aiden's in. I mean, I'm in, Aiden's in. What are we, chop liver? I mean, you need Kieran? Like, what do you need? Is he the ultimate cool kid, Kieran? And who's the other one? Oh, well, Matthew Murdoch, that would be cool, but he always comes back like 2 days later. Oh, I just got the invitation. Oh, if you have his phone number, text him right now, live.
Okay, hold on. Wait, where's Nikola?
Well, that's the thing. He's like, oh, no one likes me. But I emailed him. I said, no, we're doing this. So let's see.
Well, the first email said, I think I couldn't see who was sending emails
because he doesn't know how to hit reply to all, so he always replies to me.
Maybe I did that. I don't know.
I think you did that too. Yeah.
I'm inept. Okay. By the way, is this centered appropriately? Because you're always like
towards me. You could scoot towards me a tiny bit.
Wait,
can
what do you mean
see me on
that?
Your screen?
Yeah, I can see you.
Can you see me? Are we side by each? Are we side by each on your screen?
No, I see like I see a big David and a small Aidan.
Oh. Okay, so you can move to your left.
Live chat.
Your left.
Sorry, I was texting
Murdoch.
Matt Murdoch. Yep.
Yeah, baby. Guess what I was doing just before we met here on this live chat?
I don't want to guess.
I was editing Aidan Lisney Part 2 from 2019. You have a Part 2 pre-recorded audio only interview that I never published, and
really?
I've never edited it. It's just sitting there with a whole bunch of other archives.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, holy cow. It's like I was so excited to discover that. I was going to go in and do a Matthew Murdoch episode because I know I've got a bunch of his, but I'm like, hey, what else have I got in here?
And they sell.
I said, what else have I got in here? And it's like, holy cow, I got an Aidan Lisney. Like,
that's funny, dude. I mean, we've talked so many times that it's like,
to blur.
I didn't realize that there. I guess it makes sense that there's like enough times that it would be archived. But
And it's good. It's good. It's exciting. It's like,
is it
yeah. This is back when
awesome?
you were on fire for your faith, like you really believed. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm just bugging. But
That's great.
but I was in a much better place. Like that's the embarrassing thing. It's like I really went downhill. Christmas of 2019, and
We all didn't want to say anything to you. We were like, we call you lukewarm David when we're referring to you.
oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Just I went through such a rough time, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Who's on your shirt?
It's the comeback. These are some rock band. I have no idea. The reason I like this shirt is it doesn't look good, but it's extremely thin and lightweight, and it is long. So I love. It's not so much that I love tucking my shirts in, but I hate not being able to tuck my shirt in. I hate when you tuck a shirt in and then part of it gets untucked and your belly is exposed. First world problems.
Yeah, definitely, dude. But I didn't picture you as the type that would like to tuck their shirt in anyway. I feel like you'd be like a t-shirt, jeans kind of like.
My shirt is not tucked in right now because
Okay, because you're not wearing pants.
I don't have to. I don't have to tuck my shirt in, but I have to have the option of tucking it in. You understand? So I have to be able to tuck it in. Like when I sleep at night, I wear pajamas. Well, I'm actually not wearing pajamas now. I'm wearing shorts because it's actually hot here for the first time.
Yeah,
But
and
anyway,
wait, quick, what's hot for you? What is hot right now? 60 degrees, like 65.
Let me see.
Weather.com.
Right now it's 20, but it feels like 30.
Oh, Celsius.
Celsius. Yeah.
Okay.
You want
I'm
Fahrenheit?
like,
68 feels like.
yeah. What's the real
Whatever.
feel?
The real feel is only
Ugh.
I don't know. But yeah, but
Okay.
Today it got up to 30 for realsies. Like it was up to 30, I think, if I'm reading this correctly.
What is 30 degrees?
No,
is that like what, like close to 100 Fahrenheit?
I lied. No, I didn't. Today it only got up to 24. Let's check. 30
Hold on.
C in F. That would be 86. Is that good?
86. Yeah, that's hot. It was around 88 today here, I want to say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it's 73 right now. So it was a hot one mowing the lawn.
Do you have... Oh, yeah. Do you have Nikola Krisik's phone number? That way you can shoot him a text.
I don't. If I did... Wait, so were you chatting with him? Were you chatting with him live? And then he
emailed all disappointed that it's not happening. I said, yeah, it is happening, buddy. He's chicken shit. He's backing out. No, I don't know.
Tell him to join because I just watched your chat with him.
Okay, well, we could just in the meantime we can kill time and you can tell me what you thought of Kieran's thing with Brenda's interview with me. If you listen to any of it.
So I listened to like 2 minutes of Brenda's thing.
Yeah.
And then I got distracted because
Easily distracted.
Just easily distracted, as illustrated by that. No, but I saw in the sidebar, like there was a conversation between Brenda and Matt Murdock, and I'm like, oh, I want to check that out. And so then I listened to like 6 or 7 minutes of that. And then from there, I saw so bad. I saw the illustration that you put for Kieran's little thing with Jesus and the church fathers. And
that wasn't the church fathers. Those were the holy innocents that were slaughtered.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
That's more fitting.
He told me Kieran told me to do that. He told me to do that, so I can't.
Did he really?
He said that would be a great image for that. Yeah.
That is. It's really good. Well, it pulled me right in. Also, seeing the Lisney name, I'm just as narcissistic enough to see something that mildly pulls me into it, and I'm like, oh well, that's kind of like me. Not quite me.
Did you like that I put the music?
Yeah, I did. I did. I thought Kieran like sent that to you, to be honest with you. I was like, no. I thought Kieran added the music in.
No. I didn't even mention it to him. I just did it without his
Awesome.
permission, and like because you kind of told me that you'd like to see that everywhere. So
Yeah. I want to
uh,
see that anytime there's a technical difficulty, you just put you just put that chant
we should put it
there.
now, like waiting for Nikola. He hasn't shown up yet. Put
Ex-
the music. Put the
it
music.
would I think that would be very appropriate. But yeah, just waiting, dead silence, and then music.
Well, we
Yeah.
could like break out our smartphones and just like not look at each other and just do like scrolling and whatever, like both of us on the screen
Oh,
with
that
dead
would be fun.
silence.
That'd be
Get
good.
a lot of hits for that. The kids like
Well,
that these days.
they do.
They
Narrating
can
video games
relate.
as
They
well.
can relate.
Dude, so totally unrelated, but not really because it's Catholic. I watched The Exorcist today,
Ooh, the original one,
the original
70s.
one, and Rachel came in at one point. She was just watching because it was just the handsome Father Karras. You know, he was chatting, and then all of a sudden, close up of Linda Blair, and it was like, oh, that's disgusting. Why are you watching this? And I'm like, it's not that scary. She's just like, that's not why you don't like. Just don't watch it. It's terrible. And I'm like, nah, it's good. So I watched the full thing. I started it the other day, and I finished it today. And I was like, that was actually from what I've read about it. I thought it was a surprisingly sober take on exorcism. Obviously, there were like a couple of things that like that you read about where you're like, okay, so obviously the length of time that like deliverance ministry takes it's longer and it's like it's more played out,
Typical.
and like a couple of the things were exaggerated, but other than that I thought, oh, that's actually a pretty appropriate. I didn't think it was scandalous, to be honest with you. And people always go to the whole crucifix scene where she
Sexualizing
stabs
it.
her junk. Yeah,
Okay.
and they call it the crucifix, masturbation. And I'm just like, okay, it was a horrible desecration, but it was so violent that there was nothing pleasurable about it. You know what I
Wasn't
mean? Like,
titillating. Wasn't.
no. Everybody says it kind of talks about it like it's like horror porn, but I didn't get that at all. I was like, oh, this is actually a surprisingly Catholic film that kids should definitely not see. But I thought it was from all the books that I've read about exorcism, and I've read a couple. And those are usually the only books that I can actually start and finish, because darkness. We love darkness more than the
Then
light.
the
But
light.
I was like, oh no, that actually seems to be like dead on, and it was in my mind kind of a triumph because minus the fact that there should have been a little bit more Jesus in it, but it was a triumph in my mind because they had this mainstream success where they had the two hero priests. Like they both died, but they both died the manliest death ever in service to somebody else, and gave this honest portrayal of demonic attack.
They didn't show too much weakness in the face of the Satan and the demons.
No, I didn't. Well, the one dude was Father Karras, the one who flings himself out the window. He was definitely not smart in the way that he handled the demon. But the one who died of the heart attack, the older one, he was like the experienced exorcist. And obviously, priests don't go like jumping out windows during most exorcisms, and most of the time it's the level of danger is not on par with that, because obviously they had to make it like good for the movies. But yeah, I thought that they handled it well. They went in there, they faced their fears, they showed what true men were. They were chaste in the face of sexual obscenity. They were caring, they were compassionate. There was just something really cool about that, about seeing a couple of Catholic men like come in there and act in the name of their faith without flinching. And then they sold that to a mainstream audience, which is like, how often does that happen?
I watched it in the 70s. I know it was the 70s because I was still living in my childhood house, and we moved when I was just turning from 9 to 10. So I know I was 9 years old or younger, and I know that it was the 70s because in 1980 I turned 10. So It came out probably in the mid to late 70s, right? But
73.
oh yeah, okay. So it's been a while since I've seen it. That's my point. That's my only point here. So what is
So you
the
saw it when you were a kid, but you haven't seen it as an adult?
I I don't think I've seen it as an adult. I may have seen it once or just like without paying attention. Like normally when I watch a movie, I can't not pay attention. I'm laser focused on if I like it or if I don't like it. I'm just laser focused. My only solution is to turn it off because I can't not look at it. That's
Sure.
I'm raised on the television, so I'm like hypnotized by the television no matter what, right? So if I don't like it, I just have to shut it off or change the channel or just do something. But it can't be on in the room and I can't ignore it. So I may have caught glimpses of it or watched parts of it or whatever, but I don't think as an adult that I've watched it. Partly because it did freak me out as a child, like it did freak me out. But I think since converting like 12 years ago, I think I must have at least played with the idea of watching it again. And now I'm thinking maybe I will watch it again, but
You
maybe
should.
fast forward through the nastier bits, maybe.
I just didn't look directly at stuff like during certain
They
things
show stuff?
because not really. There's no nudity. There's no
It's just
like
the puking and all that.
well,
Is that
no.
disturbing?
Yeah, no, because she does like stab herself in the vagina with a crucifix.
That's the
And
most disturbing thing.
yeah, and then like makes obscene gestures and says horrible things towards her
Okay.
mom and towards the people around. But I mean, again, it's not.
Gratuitous?
Not.
It's not gratuitous?
Yeah, it's not like you don't see that and think like, oh yeah. Like my worst fear a couple years ago, during I had to what was it? I had to dissect a cat, and my teacher was like, "Aiden, come over. You're gonna break its chest." And all I could think was like, "I hope I don't like this. I hope this doesn't unlock anything."
Those cat titties. Oh,
No, I mean, I didn't. Like some kind of weird, just like, gee, the sound of their bones breaking was
okay.
great. I should
I
go.
want to
kill
try
animals.
this on humans. Yeah, I want
want
to
to
try
go.
this on
Yeah,
humans.
you know what I mean. Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, when you watch it, you're just it's not.
Not a turn on.
It's not a turn on. No, it's more like you can watch it with a Catholic filter, and like you're like, oh, that's par for the course.
Is she a good Catholic girl in between her bouts of disgusting grossness?
No, they're a-religious, and that's the interesting.
Ooh.
That's the interesting thing about it. The mom is an actress, seemingly good family. I think they're divorced. Daughter. They even show the origins of it too. She like at the beginning of the movie, they like pull out a Ouija board. And they're like, "Hey, where'd you find this?" She's like, "Oh, I found it in the house." And she's like, showed her mom how to do it. She's like,
New
"Yeah,
house? New house?
yeah, they're staying in a house because they're acting in a film."
Okay.
And so I think that they're having a house built for them, and they're staying in this nice house. But they're affluent enough, rich enough that they have like people working for them. And so mom and daughter.
They hired Satan to babysit the kid, for example.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, no, but I mean, it always starts out this way, and that's the other cool thing is that it's like informative because they pull out a Ouija board, and she's just like, "How does that work?" And she's like, "Oh, Mr. Howdy talks to me," and like shows her mom how she does it, and it's just like clearly the lesson is always if you have a Ouija board, just throw it away.
Burn it.
Like
burn
I don't
it.
know, like I guess it wasn't a cliche back when that film was made, like that you don't touch a Ouija board, but. I don't know if you've ever seen the shirt in Hot Topic. They have these like awesome like 50s decals of like these kids like you know how they have like Dennis the Menace type of cartoons where there's a kid like playing with a yo-yo or pulling his wagon. Well, it's a bunch of kids sitting around a Ouija board and it just says, "Let's summon demons." And it's like a joke, but I mean like obviously that's the only like logical conclusion of using a Ouija board now. Anybody that would use it would be like, like have no excuse
Well,
to
the whole
go dipping into that territory.
The satanic panic was like the 80s. It really kicked off where they're talking about ritual sexual abuse and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
So in the 70s, I mean, I think it was less, as you were saying, it was sort of less on the radar of the general pop culture. So I don't know who the director was. Was it Ridley Scott or someone? Or
No, it was. No, maybe that was the author. I don't know who the director was, but the director. Now, the writer of it was his last name was Blatty, but I can't really remember because the guy because I think maybe if I'm correct the director was also the author because it was a book first. Hold on.
William Friedkin.
Oh, okay, William Friedkin. Yeah,
Music by Jack Nietzsche. Written by William Peter
Friedkin.
Blatty.
Yeah. So William Peter Blatty was the author, and I don't know if Friedkin was a Catholic. I know the author obviously was, but
Friedkin sounds Jewish to me.
You can be Jewish and Catholic.
That's true. That is true. I'm just looking at his Wikipedia thing here. Catholic, no. His parents were Jewish immigrants from Ukraine.
Cool.
So I was right. No mention of Christianity. Exorcist. So he's best known for The Exorcist and The French Connection.
And the funny thing is, like with those movies, the people involved in them, like you think that you'd hear more conversion, stories come about from them because it's like weird stuff apparently happened on the set of that film, and people died after filming it, and I think were injured. Like one of the gentlemen who played a director in the movie. That was his last film. He died right after making it. He died in the movie. His character dies in the movie, and then he died after making it. Wow. I think Linda Blair, the woman who played Reagan, the main character, she didn't get work for the longest time because nobody wanted to hire the little girl.
She was typecast.
She was, yeah. Yeah, I mean, kind of like if you play Jesus, you're never going to work again.
Yeah, but that guy converted, right? That guy converted from
who, Jim Caviezel?
Yeah.
No, he was already a Catholic. He
just underwent a deepening conversion?
I believe so. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, I guess Joaquin Phoenix didn't after he played Jesus, but still.
Was he Catholic to begin with?
Who? Joaquin?
Yeah.
No, actually, he was involved in a Christian cult in South America. The Children of God or something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So his I read River Phoenix's one of his biographies, and it spoke about them living in South America. They lived in one of those like weird hippie commune Jesus groups, which eventually disbanded because of the widespread sexual abuse that occurred. And but they used to do like a lot of busking. That's how they like learned how to be entertainers. They used to like play
fishy
music
flirting.
for
I think
people.
they called it fishy flirting or something like that.
What's fishy flirting?
That's when the sexy young members of the Children of God would go out and busk and flirt with people to bring them into the cult. We just watched a documentary about it a month or two ago, and it was very
disturbing.
Very disturbing, especially since one of my wife's best friends belonged to that cult as a child, and
really
the family still belongs to it. I won't mention too many details so no one can connect the dots, but
sure.
It's it may have mellowed out a little bit by the time this guy was born, because I think he was born in the 80s or something, or the 90s or something. Younger guy. But the cult leader was quite sick. I mean, as most cult leaders are. We've been watching a lot of these cult documentaries. There's a rather boring documentary about a weight loss Christian cult.
Okay.
Called Way Down, and the WAY, but the cult was called Way Down, WEIGH, or however you spell way. And she was an evangelical.
Oh, is that on HBO?
Yeah, it's really badly done. Hey!
Oh man,
the party starts. The party has started.
You need to shave your chin so you just have the
goatee.
No, not even a goatee. You need to have a Fu Manchu You could be like Gogol Bordello, who's this
Turn
Russian,
your lights up, Nikola.
punk
Yeah.
band.
Let's,
Show the
All right,
beauty.
cool.
You got it. Flaunt it, man.
Man, I used to
Turn
be
your mic away from your mouth. It's too loud. You're too loud and too
loud.
sexy.
Oh yeah. You know what? Hold on.
Whisper
see.
to us. Whisper to us in your sexy voice.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. So how's it going? Thank you for calling. Hold on. Okay, is that a little better or still loud?
It's good.
Still loud? No.
You're good.
That sounds
How
good.
about now?
That's better. How do you like me now?
Better. How you like?
Yeah, Aidan, we tried 3 times to get the video with Nikola, and one of the times his audio stopped working, so I was overdubbing him with an Indian accent as his lips moved. I wish I kept that. I wish I kept it. It was so funny, but it was also very racist. So
Racially insensitive. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
I wonder how that would have looked on the video. That would have been funny, man.
Nicola, I watched I listened to your interview today with David, and I was like, my favorite part it was also my least favorite part, because David, you were reading a prayer for tears, right?
Yep.
And it was way too long. But Nicola, your face, you closed your eyes, and you had the patience that I didn't have. And you were
forwarded a few times.
It was great. No, I mean, like, I'm just like, man, what's going on, David? Like, this is like, you're not memorizing this. This isn't going to happen. But Nicola, your face, you were just so angelic and peaceful the whole time. I'm just like, I could watch that man sleep in the non-creepiest way. Like, if he looks that peaceful.
I'd like to see the thought bubble, though.
It did. It went on long, but I wasn't expecting that long neither. But I said I'm gonna soak it up, so that's what I did. I closed my eyes to soak it up, and then I was like, "Wow, this is a long prayer, but good." But then I said, "No way in hell is he memorizing this."
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. Challenge
Dude, there's
accepted.
like there's better challenges out there, like not that, you know.
Like
that's
the
just
Sprite
challenge.
The Sprite challenge where I have to drink it without burping the whole bottle.
How much is a whole bottle?
It's like
253,
350 milliliters or whatever it is. I'll do that one if you want.
Sure.
No, but David, you're sweet. Let me guess, because you want to memorize that because you want the gift of tears. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You know, you don't have to do that to get the gift, right? You just have to ask for it. You don't have to, like, it's not like prereq, like memorize this prayer and then that happens.
But I want to, I'm not expecting to get the gift of tears anytime soon. So I want to have that prayer memorized so that I can just, anytime I want, I can just soak myself in it.
I suppose if you died, went to heaven, met God face to face, and then you had to fumble in your back pocket, you're like, wait, and pulled it up, and then read it to him, I'm sure that it wouldn't have the same effect if you got down on your one knee and you're just like, I did this for you, Lord. But,
so I had the gift of tears for 2 years strong. I mean, I can cry about anything when it came to Jesus Christ, the prayer, mass, anything. I would instantly start crying for 2 years. But
wow,
now that was 2 years ago. So for the past 2 years, a lot of it, most of it vanished, and I only have it at sometimes now, like
Christmas and Easter.
I'll get it. No, I can get it even at the Eucharist randomly sometimes, and I don't know how or why, but I walk up there and there I am, like I'm trying to hold it back too, you know.
No, let it flow, man.
Awesome.
Let it flow.
But here's the funny thing about it. So the reason I mentioned it is because if you get it, be ready to have people look at you and think everything is wrong and think you need help. So they're going to come at you. Do you need me to pray for you? Everything okay? Yeah. What's wrong? And I'm like, you don't understand. No, everything is perfect. You know, is what I tell them. But
just read him the Gift of Tears prayer by St. Augustine. And they'll soon lose interest in all of your problems.
But one priest got it right away. He asked me, are you okay? And I said, yeah. I said, just... and then I tried to start explaining. He said, he goes, you got the gift of tears. He goes, that's good. That's good.
Wow.
That's cool, man.
Nice. Cool priest, man.
Sounds like a good one.
But here's the funny thing though. For my journey, for 2 years, I was floating, man, full of consolation and just. But this past 2 years, man, a lot of it's going away. It's
Of
almost like I
course.
had to learn how to walk. I had to
Yeah.
learn how to walk again and just be back in the world and reality and struggles and
Yeah.
even the fight just to go to mass and
Yep. Yep.
the
Yep.
normal stuff.
The new
man.
normal. The new normal.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a blessing when that happens. I've been reading about different forms of mental prayer, and I've been like trying to practice Lectio Divina, and it's great. It's a lot of fun, but that's because I'm so new at it that it's like, this is going to be great. It won't start meaning much until you start laboring with it, and like getting past the initial, and then getting into like the whole, slogging it out, putting the cross on your shoulder, and like walking down the street every day, same time, same place. That's when it really starts to, count for something, because God always, takes away the cookies at some point. At some point.
It's funny. I needed it. I needed it myself. It's a blessing because a little judgment started coming my way, and I'm looking at people like, why do they act like it's so hard to go to church once a week, and why do they act like it's so hard to pray, and why do they, like I started getting that. But this was a good check-in for me, to remember the struggle.
Yeah, it's awful, but it's good.
Struggle. Mm-hmm.
When I read about
God is like, I'll carry you this far. I'll carry you this far, but I'm putting you down right now.
Right there, that's where you get off. Don't forget it.
But that carry was wonderful, man. Amazing. Every time I try to put it in words, I can't. So
Kieran says, Nikola, I do love you, but tonight I was on full dad duty because my priorities are all screwed up and I haven't realized yet what's the most important thing in my life. Signed Kieran. So I appreciate his honesty on that.
Yeah, yep, because he became an all-star on the CVS podcast, and I don't understand how he's not putting that first.
He's playing hard to get with us. Because he's too good for us.
It's got to be some kind of game.
He's platinum. Don't forget, he's platinum.
That's right.
Okay. He is. And Nikola, don't think I'm not aware of what's going on right now. I know why you're joining this chat. You're trying to bump yourself up in the stats. You're just like, hey, everybody. Like, I just wanted to jump in and say hello. And very well.
You got me.
Just like,
well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah. You got me. What do you mean? This was all the mastermind, David. His plan worked. His plan is working,
David's
should I say.
The puppet master.
Yes.
Yep.
Dance, my monkeys. You want airtime?
Yeah.
Pretty soon we know we're gonna be sending him. It's like, just Venmo me before the chat. Just Venmo me $20, and it'll just be all of us paying money to get on. But
so I
didn't get a chance to wash up yet. I still got paint all over my hands. A little paint. I was spraying today. I got paint in my beard.
In your hair.
I thought this wasn't happening when I didn't see any more responses on the email. So
it's because you guys are old school. You don't know, or you're new school. You don't know how to hit that reply all button, because everyone's replying to me, just to me, so no one else can see all the communications. So when Aidan said he's in, and you said you're in, but the boys couldn't see it. Kieran's chatting with us, saying this is great, laughy, smiling face, and so he's enjoying this.
Tell him, why is he joining there but not here? I don't know.
Anyway, I don't understand that. Because don't let Kieran join, because he'll dominate the conversation.
He's doing his dad thing, That's cool.
No, I know
that's cool.
Yeah, whenever I talk to him, he always he's like, yeah, man, presuppositional, blah blah blah. Snorts, then he turns. He's like, oh, buddy, do you want some kind of thing that I can give you? Hold on, give me 1 second. And then he turns back and he's just like, yeah, dude. Kieran, you've gotten so soft and weak.
That's good. That's very good. But he'll join us next time. Like, we'll do this we'll do this again for sure. But he'll join us next time. But yeah, it's true. He will dominate you. Like that's his duty as the older brother, is to dominate the younger brother.
He's younger.
I know.
David.
I know. I'm just.
He's younger. That's the word. Oh, you're Kieran's brother, right? No, I'm Aidan. I am Aidan. I am my own man. You know.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
you know,
and it's funny. I'm thinking of Kieran's journey and just remembering the first few videos.
Oh my
and just
God. Oh
what
my
the hardcore
God.
Protestant he was, and
Oh
he's just
my
trying to set you
God.
straight, David. And
Oh my God.
no, David, I'm telling the Bible says this and that. But it's amazing to see the journey, man.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
Nicola, were you Protestant as well, or were you? Because
After I had
listened
my-
to your, I listened
Oh,
to
go
your
ahead.
interview, by the way. Your first one, but I can't remember. I just remember you. Oh, what were you? You were. And all I remember is where I was driving. I was in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I remember you talking about Peter bowing down, or telling somebody else not to bow down to him, and your confusion, your battle with that piece of scripture. But that's all I remember from that interview, because it was I think it was like 2 years ago that I listened to it. So I'll stop interrupting you and let you answer.
I was born Catholic, and I was a Catholic my whole life, but nobody practicing it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We just had all the images in the house, and we went for Easter and Christmas. That was it. So knew nothing about it. Then I had my conversion, or my whatever it's called, my miracle from God, or whatever that was. And then from that day, I just said I'm going to follow God as best as I can.
4 years ago.
And I started reading the Bible for myself, and started watching YouTube videos, and then what came with a lot of Protestants was the Catholic bashing, and I fell for those right away. And then so I stopped being a Catholic, was full-blown Protestant for about 8 months, and God pulled me right back into the Catholic Church after that. And even the way that happened was a miracle in itself, man.
Were
Because I
you
was
non-denominational, or were you like a liturgical Christian before you were a Catholic?
yeah, I would say non-denominational, and if you
Okay.
made me give a name, I would say Baptist, fine, but it was more non-denominational, probably. Yep.
Okay. Would you
Something
use the
like
word
that.
just like Bible believing? Because a lot of people just
Yep.
like use that as the way to describe where
Yep.
they are.
Even
Okay.
I'm not a Protestant. I'm a Christian.
Right. Right.
That's what I would say. Yep.
And then how
if
did you
you're
get pulled out of it?
out of the Protestantism,
Yeah.
a miracle. But anyways, but besides the miracle, Catholic Answers had a lot to do with it,
Uh-huh.
and but I would say, yeah, mostly Catholic Answers had a lot to do with it. And then my first video was when I finally said, "Wow, I'm Catholic," and that was right after I found David's channel and got my first interview. I was a fresh Catholic all over again.
Wow.
On that
That's cool.
first interview.
What an honor. You reached out to me, or what? How did I find you?
Yeah. I found you. I watched one of your videos and commented, and then you commented back and just said you want it, or you asked me, I think.
I ask everyone. Yeah, don't feel too flattered. Ask absolutely everyone.
I know.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Until they say yes, or until they say stop asking me.
Is that how you got your wife, David?
She chased me. Me. Oh yeah. And then finally I said yes.
Guaranteed not with the hair down, though. It had to be tied up, because with the hair down, she would have ran.
I'm pro David hair down, actually. I think David should always keep his hair down, and I think he should grow.
I could do, I want the beard. I wish I could have the beard. Maybe I'll
is it your job that you can't
No,
have a beard?
well, my wife doesn't like it, and plus I don't have a lot of facial hair.
Wait, she's Orthodox. She should love a big old juicy beard, man.
But I want to just mention something about Kieran. Again, it's all about Kieran, right? It's all about.
It's always about Kieran.
Let's use a code word. It's all about Jennifer.
At my funeral,
it's all about
everybody's
Jennifer.
going to be like, "Way to go, Kieran!"
I'm tired of dreaming about him every night. Go ahead, yeah. It is all about him.
So anyway, I'm listening to the archives and going back to the old interviews. I'm editing one of yours right now, Aidan, And
Are
there's a
you
lot.
sure it's me? Or are you
There's
sure it's not? Oh, wait, that was actually Kieran.
there's a
Sorry.
lot of talk.
Sorry.
There's a substantial amount of talk about Kieran in that one, but there's also one I'm doing editing, also one from Matthew Murdoch, and it's all about Kieran. So it's interesting, the way he insinuates himself into our minds. And what is it like? What is it about him? Like he's good at
He's
taking up
really
space.
smart. Kieran's really brilliant. He's funny. He's, my wife says,
that
and she doesn't say this
mustache.
about Kieran. Oh yeah, definitely the mustache.
Yeah.
My wife loves anybody who's remotely addicted to anything. She thinks that she thinks addicts just have an enigmatic personality.
Okay.
So like Kieran is just hands down. Like when he guns for something, he's just like right there. And
Okay.
I remember in like 3rd or 4th grade, he wrote a poem about thunder or lightning or a combination of the two, and it got published in this like book that the teacher like submitted it to. And my mom read it aloud, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was really brilliant." But that was the first time I had any inkling that Kieran was smart, and I was just like, "He had to have copied that. That's not him."
I bet it took a long time for Aidan to admit, "Damn, my younger brother's smart." That took a long time for those words to come out.
Probably, yeah.
For being the older brother, just to give something to the little brother, because I know how my older brother is with me, and oh yeah.
Well, Nikola, I was the fat kid, right? I was like I was always the like Kieran's overweight older brother. I looked like a woman for many years. Everybody called me Rosie O'Donnell.
Really?
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. And David, you're laughing, but it's so true, man. It's so true. Everybody's like, oh, you look like a lesbian. I'm like, fair enough.
Were you insulted when Trump threw some shade your way?
How did he throw shade my way?
Or just making fun of Rosie O'Donnell all the time?
Oh yeah, well,
you took that personally.
I do feel a kinship with her, and so I wouldn't have liked that had I heard that. So,
how about you guys know Pat? Is it a boy? Is it a girl?
Oh yeah,
just
Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was called that. I was called that for a few years. From I would say from 14 to 15, I looked like Pat.
Wow.
Nicola, you're married, right?
Yeah.
I bet your wife is smoking hot too, because that's what happens to all the dudes that get made fun of. They always find the hottest woman that will say yes, and they beeline it for them, and that's what I did. So.
Yeah, but, I got lucky. Yes. Yep. How long you been married?
Almost 7 years. Almost 7 years. Okay. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going on 10 years this September. Yeah.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Because I can't get a read. You're 40?
40.
Oh wow,
yep.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yep.
I would have just said.
How about
David,
you?
32. 32.
Oh, okay.
I'm 52, so we got the 30s, 40s, and 50s covered here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mark, by the way, was so astounded at your age, David.
Who is Mark? Oh, your Uncle Mark.
Yeah, Uncle Mark.
Yeah. He told me he thought I looked young.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. He's like, no way. It's like, yeah, I know. David has that. David's gonna live forever.
I hope so. Well, I don't want to live forever, but I mean, I'm blessed with some good genes. Like I think, I talked to my dad today, and he's in his mid 80s, and he's out gardening, and
wow.
So good. I got some good genes.
Yeah. It's like Saint Anthony the Great.
Yeah.
Dude lived until he was like 108. Yeah.
I just want to live long enough to. My goal is to either die a martyr and go straight to heaven, or that's unlikely to happen, or to be a confessor. You know what a confessor is?
Isn't that similar to martyrdom, where you die for professing the faith?
Well, I think one of the criteria is that you don't commit a venial sin, or obviously not a mortal sin, for 10 full years before your death. So you have 10 years.
How would that even occur?
I mean, I'm going to try to make it happen.
Oh, I don't mean for you. I just thinking in terms of myself. I'm just like, I literally, like, I go to confession, I sit down, and I'm just like, let's sin again, baby. Just not too bad before I receive.
I know.
Kick down the door, and I'm just like, sup, bitches,
hard.
Let's go.
Hey, I want to share a blasphemous fantasy I had during Mass this past Sunday.
Sounds horrible.
Just because it's strange. Like, I'd never had anything like this before. You and I, Aidan, talked back in 2019 in your second interview, part two, which I'm editing now and will publish soon. We talked about having sort of sexual stuff, fantasies come during Mass. Well, I talked
Yep.
about that anyway. And
No, and
but
I frequently, I have
yeah,
it so much it doesn't even faze me anymore.
yeah. But this was not to do with sex. This was to do with food. This is the first time this happened to me. Like, I often think
Okay.
about food while I'm at Mass. Like, hey, what's my next meal going to be? What am I going to eat? Oh, it's going to be delicious. Like, whatever. You know, I'm often thinking about food during Mass. I try not to, but that just comes in my mind. And because I'm hungry usually during Mass. But and I'm just always hungry all the time. Even if I just had a meal, I'm always thinking about when's my next meal. But anyway, the point is, I was looking at a beautiful life-size crucifix. Is that Matthew Murdoch?
No, it's my
Okay.
uncle. He's at a Chicago concert and he's sending me videos. Of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you won't like this, but send a bunch. It's like, ugh.
So I'm looking at this life-size crucifix of a white, statue of Jesus on the cross at church. And I'm fantasizing about the chocolate cake that my wife asked me to pick up on my way home from church. I'm thinking about what kind of chocolate cakes are going to be, how delicious is it going to taste, and all this sort of thing. And then I just had this image. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's partly sick and twisted, and it's partly edifying. The sick and twisted part is that I pictured one of the soldiers at the crucifixion holding up on a stick a piece of chocolate cake for Jesus to eat, right? And he's like, "Here, have some chocolate cake." It's just like a totally absurd Monty Python moment.
Yep.
But at the same time, it really did humble me. It put into perspective this perverted lust I have for food. Like, what the hell am I lusting after a piece of chocolate cake for when I'm, about to receive the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ? And
Right.
this idea, this mockery of Christ by offering him a piece, have some cake, Jesus, here you go. Like when they gave him the vinegar or whatever it was, that wine, sour wine, whatever it was. It's just, I don't know. I've never understood if that was a mockery, if they're trying to be nice to him, or they're trying to provoke him, and they're trying to get him to talk about Elijah, or what they were trying to do with that wine there. Like, it seemed like, hey, he's going to say something. Hey, give him some wine. Like, is it a mockery, or were they compassionate? Or I don't know. I don't understand that Bible scene when they offer him the wine on the hyssop branch or whatever it is. But with the chocolate cake thing, it was definitely like derision and scorn and mockery, and but it did humble me, and it did condemn me. Like, I felt like condemned for this trivial lust I have for something as silly as dessert.
Well, there's like what? There's potential sin and then there's actualized sin, and we don't like deal with certain things until they pop up. So like maybe that was just an opportunity for you to heal in that like one little weird way. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have had to deal with like your lustfulness towards like cake or dessert foods, you know what I mean? And then it like put it in a very explicit way. So like
Spotlight.
yeah, it's like shining a light on it so that way you could deal with that directly, because it's just like that's how I've been kind of thinking about sin now anyway. I'm like if something really disturbing comes up, because sometimes if I'm like not paying attention, that's when it disturbs me, but then after a while I'm like, oh, that's fine. But then I'm like, oh, this potential for this would have existed had I not had this experience anyway. Even if I failed to the experience, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh yeah, that potential always existed. So you just had the opportunity in that moment to deal with it, and then you flubbed it. But like right now, I'm experiencing something kind of similar to the chocolate cake, David.
Right
where
now?
like I'm praying, not right now, but like in my generalized prayers where I'm praising Jesus, and the word "sexy" keeps coming up. Where I'm like, my sweet Jesus, or I'm not like my sexy Jesus, and I'm like, what? No, that's not what. And like it happened twice, and it's so
It's
absurd.
absurd.
I'm
It's
just
absurd.
like, I'm sorry, Jesus, that's not what I mean. But there's obviously this satisfaction in the Lord that covers every desire, and so it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's not totally wrong. It's just it's just it's just not respectful, and it's not like quite hitting the
It's a
mark.
bit
So
misguided. A bit misguided. Yeah.
right.
Just needs to be tweaked a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Omitted completely.
We talk about this at length in your 2019 interview, by the way. We talk about this sort of
Yeah,
stuff
I
at
know,
length.
and it just keeps coming. But now I'm just like, meh. All right. Well, he knew how awful I was before, so
I was thinking
David,
about.
did that
course.
Yeah, go ahead, Nicola.
did that scene pop out of totally nowhere?
No, no.
Like I'm saying the guard holding the stick with the cake on it, the guard holding the stick, did that like just pop out in your head with the cake already, or did you think of the guard and then Jesus and then the cake on the stick? Was it like a boom
No,
boom
it
boom,
was
or
like
was it
no.
just
The sequence of events was I'm looking at the crucifix, admiring it. The mass is ongoing. I'm half-heartedly listening to the mass, and I'm looking at the crucifix, and then the idea comes into my head. Oh yeah, I gotta buy that chocolate cake for Anna. While I'm looking at the crucifix, half-heartedly participating in the mass, and then right away the whole scene played out in front of my eyes. This mockery of Christ, where it's being offered into his mouth. I didn't see the soldier. I didn't even see the stick. I just saw the cake on his mouth.
Yep,
Okay.
got it.
And
Got
then
it.
I just thought, oh my God, this is like blasphemous. And then I just thought it's funny. And then I thought, what is the significance of this? What is the meaning of this? Like what it puts things into perspective in terms of fasting, respecting your body, and your
Yep,
body's a temple, and
got
what
it.
is food, and is it okay to have some
Got
sweets
it.
from time to time, and what is moderation, and all those sorts of questions. Like you just start thinking about all
Right.
that sort of thing, right?
Yep. Yeah, that gluttony is powerful, man, and I deal with it. I take it out on my cigarettes mostly. I'll tell you that because
Ah,
I'd be
ah.
scared if I quit. I think I would gain all
Oh,
kinds of weight.
you'd end up
Yep,
looking like Rosie O'Donnell.
yep,
I was just trying to email
guaranteed.
you a photograph of her so that you would see, but I couldn't do it. It won't let me upload it from my phone. But Nicola, I also enjoy, and this is not good because I'm a nurse and I'm supposed to discourage people from smoking cigarettes. But during your interview, you're smoking, and I'm just like, enjoy yourself, buddy. That's so nice. Like, I'm like, good times. Reminds me of
Vicariously.
What's
the
funny
old
is
days.
my wife is a nurse. She's a
Uh-huh.
registered nurse as well, and she works in 8 South Neurology, the neurology floor. So
Ugh, neuro,
she
no
got some
thanks.
heavy. Yep, she got some heavy stuff. Yeah.
What state are you in?
First, Detroit, Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yep.
We get a lot of
Yeah.
Michiganites down here in Pensacola. You should travel down south and come
Is that
come
where
hang out with me.
isn't that, I think that's where Kent Hovind lives. Is that true? Did you go visit Dinosaur Adventureland yet or what?
I do not know what that is.
Do you don't know Kent Hovind? Wow, okay.
I do
Yeah,
not
he's
know Ken.
Protestant.
I interviewed him.
He's Protestant, so yep. David interviewed him.
Is he like a
Young Earth
creationist?
Creationist. He's probably one of the most
The
Say
famous
his
one.
name
Yep.
again?
Kent
Yep.
Kent
Kent
Hovind.
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 You got to watch his
Okay.
videos. I mean, the guy
Yeah.
he's quite a personality. He's got a lot of personality, and he's quite sharp, and
hmm
he's got edge, like a lot of edge, and he doesn't suffer fools.
He was
He
my favorite the whole 8 months I was Protestant. He was my favorite, I would say.
I
Yep.
still like him. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a little bit aggressive with me against my Catholicism, mocking my belief in purgatory and these sorts of things. But I did a response video to him too, which I think is one of my favorite
I don't
things.
Yep. I heard
understand.
it.
I
I
don't
enjoyed it.
understand the vitriol against purgation or purgatory. Like we
Because
all understand,
because it lends credence to the works. It lends
right?
credence to the whole issue of faith and works. And I was thinking about faith and works because one of my daily prayers is to the Saint Michael the Archangel. It's like a sort of they call it a chaplet to Saint Michael or something like that. But
You do the crown, the with the 3 Hail Marys and the 9 choirs, like
I
the
do the 9
angelic.
choirs thing. Yeah, the 9 choirs
That's a
thing.
brutal prayer, man. That's a powerful prayer.
I don't do it properly. I do a sort of like an abridged version of it. Like I don't do the Hail Marys or the Our Fathers, or the Glory Bees or all these sorts of things. I just do the parts that I'm not praying already 20 times a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, I just wanted to get the skeleton of it so that I can, like, if I end up in a prison cell or something like that, I can reconstruct it because I wanted to memorize the parts that I haven't already got memorized that I say 20 times a day anyway. So I just got the skeleton, and I've just been in the habit of saying that.
Cool,
And
man.
but the one of the choirs of angels, well, it's the archangels. It says, by the intercession of Saint Michael and the celestial choir of archangels, may the Lord give me perseverance in faith and in all good works, in order that I may attain the glory of heaven.
Eternal. Yeah.
So give me faith and works so that I can go to heaven. What does that mean? And as the church prays, so she believes. As the church prays, so she believes. So if I'm praying that I want the archangels to give me faith and works so that I can go to heaven, what does that mean? It means I can't go to heaven without faith and works, right? Like, I mean, this is not a shocking revelation. We know the church teaches that we need faith and works. But every day I'm praying this and I'm thinking, wow, like this is like, it's so taken for granted by the church that it's even found its way into our prayers, right? Do you think there's any weight to that?
Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
It just struck me like, yeah, we it's like an endorsement, the stamp of approval given by just this random prayer that I started praying maybe 6 years ago.
I think the problem is that it's not usually parsed out well enough. You know, like I think Trent Horn does a really good job talking about faith and works, and I always really liked his apologetics that like kind of spoke of those things. And as far as like, you know, purgatory is concerned and like working or whatever you want to say to get out of it, like people always, like Catholics tend to classify purgatory as a place and not as a process. And it's like, biblically, it's so sound that like you have to be clean to enter heaven.
Yeah.
You can die in an unclean state. God can do that in the blink of an eye, but what is the blink of an eye to God, to man? And what does that process feel like? Obviously, divine justice has to exist, so you can't continue to be awful to other human beings and not
Go to
you know, not somehow give back for that, because, you know, like God is all good, he's also all just. So really it's just like, let's put 2 and 2 together here. The Catholic teaching on purgatory is actually very it's very vague, very open. And
we have to use reason. We have to use reason.
Yeah.
To me, I was gonna say, with faith and works, to me, it's like common sense. It's like, go ahead and try that with your wife. Just believe that you love her, and that's it. Just believe it. Just believe that you love her, and everything will be fine.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And you know what's funny? What's crazy is when I, after becoming Catholic again, and then understanding purgatory, to me that tied so many loose ends within Christianity. Like purgatory made everything make sense. You know that? Like, even how can someone have a deathbed confession? How can someone have all kinds of loose ends? It really tied up that purgatory is the answer to many of these unknown questions on how it makes sense. You know that? Yeah. So for me, it was deep to understand purgatory and how it all makes sense. It tied a lot. It tied a lot of loose ends up for me.
Yeah. It's
Nikola, I've been really interested in prayer lately. I mean, I've been interested in prayer from the beginning of my conversion. But I want to know, what do you do for your daily prayer rule or life?
It's funny, as I see you guys saying, you guys do the rosary, you guys do the everything. They are all amazing stuff, but I cringe when I try to do set prayers. That's when my mind starts wandering. That's when so me, it's been for a while now, it's been the most sincere, and how do you want to call it, spontaneous and sincere as possible. That's most of my prayers, and I'll probably do 5% of set prayers, and it's 95% just including him in my daily life, daily thoughts, you know, when I get a moment. And only sometimes when I'll get in the deep prayer is I have this Gregorian chant that I'll play sometimes, and let that play, and I'll just I'll just
Kieran gets
go
into
at
everything,
it.
man. Kieran
I'll
gets
just
Riff
in.
off of
go at
that.
it.
I know.
Kieran finds his way into everything. I told you.
There was one I found. I fell in love with the moment I heard it, and then ever since then, I'll use that sometimes. So.
Send me the link.
But I try the rosary, and I've just started doing the rosary.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. But I've been doing the Divine Mercy
Yeah.
chaplet
Yeah.
actually, and with my family. So with my wife and my 4-year-old and
wow.
almost 2-year-old, and we've been
That's
trying
awesome.
that, and
That's cool,
and that's been awesome.
Mega
I'll tell you
grace,
that.
mega
So,
graces. Wow, with the
Have you
family.
tried the Jesus prayer? Because I feel like you might be a
Yeah.
real lover of the practice of the Jesus prayer.
Is it that short one? The Lord Jesus, have mercy on me. Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny because I don't. How does it go again? I don't know it exactly.
They're different
Lord Jesus,
versions.
have mercy.
Good enough. Lord Jesus
That's
Christ,
why.
Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner.
Sinner. Yeah. Yep. No, it's funny. That one, when I remember it, I'll say it, but I forget to say that one a lot. I just more like in different ways. Again, I guess my way is most sincere as possible is all I try. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the
You
best.
know?
That's the best.
Sometimes I will not even say the word. I won't. Sometimes I'm saying, plenty of times I say I'm sorry, but sometimes I won't even say I'm sorry. I
Grown.
know He knows my heart, and I just look down and and I leave it at that.
That's the
you
best.
know what I mean? Yeah. So that's been mine, and I'm sure I'm gonna come to a point where I'm gonna need more set prayers and then get to them.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and I know that that's coming, but it's just been as sincere and as spontaneous as possible. That's it.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude. That's
Yeah.
That's what Catholics need. Catholics need that.
And I don't lose too, and by His grace, I don't lose too much focus during Mass. It's strange. I used to before,
Yeah.
but I can focus and hear what, pay attention to what the priest is saying and be all in it. And once the Eucharist is coming, start trying to bring all my sins to, all my sins to it, and just accept it as deep as possible. So I don't know, it's a grace from Him though, because in other things there my mind can wander then and lose when I try to read. Actually, when I sit down and try to read, my mind will wander. It's weird. Yep.
Sounds like you kind of have a general practice of the presence of God, kind of like what Brother Lawrence talks about, which is just turning every activity into a prayer. Excuse me.
I don't know, Brother Lawrence.
I have read that book because it's short. I read short books and books on demons because I was just telling
That's
David.
where I should start.
Yeah, short books and books on demons. That's for sure. Everybody should start.
The short books I got to start because I need to read more and get into, not let my mind wander while I'm reading.
I've had 2 real moments with the Holy Spirit. I mean, I've had a couple. I'm sure I've had more than that, but 2 that stand out in the last couple of years with the Holy Spirit. And one of them, I was standing in front of my bathroom mirror, and I was like being overly heady about prayer. And I said, "Lord, how do you want me to pray?" And I felt this guttural response in my chest and in the back of my neck, and it just said, "From the heart." That's all God wants, is us to just pray from the heart.
Nice.
It's as simple as that. So just
I'm gonna tell you a story, and a second one if I remember, so I did a novena asking for a dream. I wanted a dream, I said, from God, whatever He wants to give me, right? I said, give me whatever you want to give me. But I want something from you, anything. What should I do? What can I do? What support, whatever it may be. I did a 9-day novena, and the 9th day came and nothing happened, right? And I remember I was a little disappointed about that, and I was like, I kind of lost a little faith in the novena prayer, right? Itself, and I was like, okay, whatever, and this and that, and then about 3 weeks later, and my dreams, I barely remember them. I don't really have too many dreams, and if I do, they're goofy, silly, and I forget about them by the time I wake up. But anyways, about 3 weeks later or something like that, I have this dream. It's as real as can be, right? It's vivid, it's real, it's deep. I walk into church, I get on my knees. As soon as I get on my knees, everything disappears. The church, everything is just me on my knees, blackness, and I look up, a human heart.
Wow.
The biggest human heart, but it's huge. It's a huge human heart. I would say about 10 feet high above me and maybe 6 feet wide, right? 6 feet up, like a huge human heart I see. And I look to the left and fire. There was fire. Fire all around, almost like, but there was nothing there to be on fire, but there was a fire as if something was catching on fire. Every direction I looked, all the way around, was this fire.
And it was you burning in hell?
And then simultaneously with all that, I literally felt like a combination of if I was on the world's fastest roller coaster, if I jumped out of an airplane, that falling effect, all these crazy emotions and comfort and love and just all kinds of a mixed bag of where it was like almost even revving up and getting more and more and more and more, and that's what woke me up then. So it was
That's
pretty
awesome.
crazy dream.
Wow,
It was awesome, but yeah, it was awesome, but yeah. So, but that's what he gave me, and then I was like, but if I ask, what did that mean?
Heart on fire.
What else does it mean besides I see a heart, the heart of love, or the love of Christ,
Burning
the
love.
heart of Christ, love, and that,
Big heart.
and that's been a big thing too for me. God keeps giving me that grace of love, 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 love. And that could sound very corny, I know. And I know an atheist could even love someone and they say to be nice and love everybody. But there's a real love and a fake love, right? So, and it's just God keeps pushing that love. And the more I try, then the more I realize how hard it is to love everybody and love correctly and love like Christ did, you know? It's a high mountain to climb, but we just keep trying for that.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Anything but fall into the religiosity of it and fall into the motions of it and fall, you know? So.
Pharisaical rigidity and
Yeah.
rigor.
Yep.
Rigor.
Yeah.
Legalism. Checklist. Check. I did my novena.
Yep.
Okay, I cried.
That's right.
Cried my tears. I had my dream about the heart. Okay, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the transverberation of the heart, like the idea of the heart getting pierced, you know, and like this like seraphic angel comes down and stabs you in the heart. And I'm like, man, Lord, I really want that. And then it's just like, well, you know, maybe you should try to like love people naturally, like and like consistently. And
baby steps. Baby steps.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like why don't you like, you know, be better to your wife? And it's like, okay. And then it's just like, yeah, but that's true though. Like you don't just like get the big stuff without the small steps in between. It wouldn't make sense that way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mother Teresa too.
Yeah,
I'm just inspired by her so much.
Yeah.
She's
your countryman. She's your fellow countryman, right?
Yep.
Albanian.
Yep. And
Albanian.
Because it's not for that reason that why I'm attracted to her. I'm attracted to her by the love she gave and by the work she did. And man, so and then that makes the extra connection. She is Albanian as well. So
and her power,
right.
the power she has in her delivery of every word she spees. No wasted, words.
And then I opened a book with her one day, and I saw her face, and it just beamed with light. I'm like, she's holy. There's just no
denying it.
She is.
Yeah.
I heard a speech she gave about abortion just 4 or 5 days ago, and I was like, wow. Try to look up the speech with her she gave on abortion.
The prayer, that meeting, National Prayer Day in the White House or something like that.
Yep. I was like, wow.
Amazing.
She's amazing. And then I love it how she's in that they put her in the Michael Jackson video. You know that song, Man in the Mirror?
No way.
Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few shots of her.
No way.
I love the part they chose to even put in somebody has a kid, a sick child, and she just basically dove to grab this child and put her in his arms, put him in her arms.
Wow.
And I'm just like, wow, it's so deep. I love it.
It's awesome.
You know, I was at a
Mm.
job on a job picking up some materials at the supply whatever warehouse, and they have all kinds of stuff they stock for all kinds of different businesses. And one of the things they're stocking is all these linens. Like I don't know what they are, but they're like laundry's been done or something. And there's all this fabric there. Like I don't know if it's bed sheets or what it is, but I swear to God, it looked like, I shouldn't swear to God, but it looked exactly like, and it reminded me of the sisters, you know, Mother Teresa's sisters, like that order. Did she found that order or what? But it's got just the white with the blue stripes.
With the blue stripes.
I saw it. Like
I don't know if she made it fame. I don't know if she put it on the map or if she founded it, but I know she had her own thing she founded, but I don't know if that came with it or not.
But I just felt a desire, like I want to have one of these cloths with this, like this white and blue, because it just brought me to Mother Teresa, and I just love her.
Yep. They were selling one at my church, a version of it, like a scarf, but in the white and blue. I loved it. I bought it, and I got it blessed, and I love that thing.
Wow,
so
yeah.
it's cool to have though. But I know what you're saying about that. And
You know, she dealt.
Go ahead.
She dealt with the poor, right? Where she's famous for dealing with the poor and helping the poor. But she made a funny comment about a funny assessment of who the poorest people are. It's those in the West who are killing their babies. They're the poorest people.
Mm-hmm.
They're the poor.
Yep.
You know, she sees as God sees. She knows who's rich and who's poor.
That's right.
And
That is right.
it's the poverty to not even value your own child. That's the ultimate poverty.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
I got dark really
that's
quick.
Awesome for her to.
Like, yeah, so found her headdress, and it would be really nice to have something like that around. Don't kill your children.
Well, yeah, that's why we love her, though. That's why we love her, because she will nail you on your hypocrisy. She will nail you without cornering you
and
personally.
look how deep that is. Look how deep that is. You're not the poor that has $0 in your pocket. That's the poor right there.
Yeah.
That are killing their babies.
Yeah.
You know, that's what being poor means.
And we have to see Jesus in those people. That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Those.
Yep, that is.
Those. I was at the propane station getting some propane tanks filled up for my work, and I just dressed like a street bum and whatever, and I got my bashed up pickup truck from work and whatever, totally classless, and this rich guy pulls up, totally rich car. He's dressed to the hilt. He's got like his cravat, his French cravat, and his sunglasses, and his hair is coiffed perfectly. He's got the nice shoes and the watch and everything. And he walks up with his little tiny canister. I've got 3 huge 100-pound canisters. He's got a little 30-pounder. And the guy running the shop, the propane shop, says, "Oh, excuse me, I'm just going to serve this gentleman first, and then I'll do you." Okay, so even though I got there first. And I made a joke. I know full well, I'm not stupid. I know the reason is because he has a little one, it's faster, and then he'll do my 3 big ones. Okay, I know that. But I made a joke, and I just was acting like I'm all pissed off. Like, yeah, sure, serve him first because he's rich. And I tried to give attitude, right in front of the guy. And I was hoping that he would have some humility. He'd laugh along, right? But he kept a completely straight face, and he thought I was serious. That I was seriously like oppressed underclass that's like rebelling, and I'm showing my true anger towards the hatred towards the rich people, whatever. I wasn't. I was just making a joke. Can you laugh at yourself? Like, can you laugh at the theater of this? Like, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna end up before our maker. And like, can you laugh at the role you're playing? Because I can laugh at the role I'm playing. But he couldn't. And the guy working there couldn't either. He's like, no. He worked very hard for his money. The rich people work very hard for their money. And I was thinking, I had another joke spontaneously come into my head. Yeah, it's hard work managing all those slaves, isn't it? But I didn't say that joke. Because the first one didn't fly. That one certainly wouldn't.
I would say they probably just didn't get you were joking, but you're right. They within themselves now they got to realize to be able to laugh at themselves. You're right.
Yeah, come
But they just
on.
probably had no idea you were joking. That's all. They thought you were serious,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
There's something overly sterile about people with money. Like and I was, guys have probably seen women that are so good looking that it's painful to look at them. It's just like, oh my goodness, it's like they're ripping your heart out, right? Now there's like a type of man and woman that exists. That's I see that, David. Call-ins in
10 minutes, yeah.
So like there's this type of rich person that exists. They're just so well put together. They're so clean. They're so well coiffed. It looks like they don't sweat. It looks like they don't wipe their butt. It just looks like they're just this immaculate, like floating species that just goes along and just doesn't pour out any fluid from any orifice. And
unlike Nikola.
And
with his tears.
Myself.
With his tears. I meant your tears, not anything else. Go ahead.
That's right. No, but I mean, there's something about that person where you just like, and you feel like it's like the opposite. You know, when St. Francis meets the leper and he feels repulsed by him, like you see that with those people. And I think about my interactions with them because I know I get those people as patients and I have to put my hands on them. I have to touch them. I have to take care of them. I have to interact with them. And I almost feel like my dirtiness is like corrupting their well put together or physique or whatever you want to say. And it's like it's just unrealistic. It's just this like
surreal.
It's surreal. It's almost like this unsustainable thing that it's like this only exists in a certain context, and at some point you're going to get dirty, and at some point you're going to be sweaty, and you're going to be rolling around in your own crap. And it's so depressing. But I mean, like that's how I meet people, during most of my day. And
hi, nice to meet you.
Pretty much not anymore, dude. You don't even just deal with it. You just deal with it. You're just like literally rolling in their stank with them.
I can't do that job for the world, man. Thank you for that job because I can't do it.
Nah,
I cannot do it.
They pay me enough, so they
nice.
They throw money at me, and
you're one of those rich guys, aren't you? With your nice hairdo.
You wouldn't see me. You wouldn't No, you wouldn't see that. Yeah, a nurse as rich. Sure. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen your TikTok videos. Those dance moves weren't cheap.
That's true. Actually, Dave, I was going to make a joke about you being a male dancer prior to your conversion.
Okay.
But didn't know how that would go down on the Catholic channel.
Just a random joke, like just right now, just insert that anywhere.
I was asking Nikola about like where he came from, and I'm like, I already know where David came from. He was dancing.
I see. Okay.
A nightclub.
Paints quite a picture.
I think your brother has the most secrets to hide. That's all I know. I could see it all over his face and all in his body language. Yep, Kieran has a lot of secrets that he's not telling people.
All those boy toys.
We're gonna have to try to pull it out one by one. That's
intervention.
You don't have to pull them out. I got them locked and loaded, baby. I'm ready to go. What do you want to know?
That's funny. Aidan, I was gonna ask you, are they offering the same thing they were to my wife? Like a bunch of these travel nurses are getting the jobs now, or they're leaving their position to do travel nursing because they're paying like triple the amount?
Sure, they do like emergent pay, and like they'll pay you like obscene amounts of money, $100 an hour to do something that somebody's getting paid $30 an hour to do. Yeah, if I were to go over to Texas, I could make like, but also though, like the shifts are, you work like 5 days a week and you work like a 6-week contract. And so then it's like 5 12-hour days of like a new hospital that you're not familiar with people that you don't know them. So it's kind of like,
That's tough. Yeah.
They were doing like I forget, they were doing like $1,000 bonuses for every shift you picked up during COVID. So like, if I would have worked 2 extra shifts, I would have made a couple extra grand, and I picked up no shifts. Everybody's like, yeah, you gonna take them up on that? I'm like, no, not even a little bit. No, I'm gonna go home.
It's not worth it. That's right. No. Sometimes that money's not worth it, man. You're like,
Nope.
I'll watch a show that's worth more right now than a little more money.
Exactly. And
Rest
it's
and
Friends, and I've watched it 1,000 times before, and I don't care.
Peace. It's all about peace.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Even
But
Jesus during his public life was craving that peace, right? Like foxes have holes, but nowhere for the Son of Man to lay his head. It's just like, it's seriously one of the best things you can have. Like the guy who did Burt's Bees, I wear Burt's Bees. I was gonna say lipstick, but the lip chapstick thing. It's the best. It sticks and it stays, right? The beeswax. But that guy
yeah,
Bert, he said, "It's a good day when no one comes to visit me. That's a good day." Because he was famous. Like he had people coming to him and making him offers, business deals. They just want to see him because he's a character, like he's an eccentric character. If you haven't seen the documentary about Bert from Burt's Bees, you should watch it. But that stuck
okay,
with me. That really stuck with me. A good day is when no one comes to visit. That's a good day. So
yeah,
it's all about peace. Do you have peace? Do you have a quiet home life? Do you have a wife that loves
that's right.
you? You know, it's not by
Yeah,
chance that the Holy Family is the model par excellence for the human person. We're supposed to be in a family, a loving, peaceful, quiet family, and have everything well ordered, and there's quiet time. You know, it's not always quiet time, but you have that. You have access to that. There are many, many single people who think that the next thrill, the next time they get laid, or the next fancy meal at the restaurant, or the next travel vacation or whatever, they think that that next hit is going to give them something, but it can never fill the void. It can never fill the void.
that's right. And to have that consistent piece is wow. I'm
Oh,
shooting for that. I'm sure everybody is. I have it sometimes only, and just imagine having it consistently. That's wow.
that's heaven.
That's nice. Yep, that's right. That's right.
I will say, moments at work, I'm very blessed at moments at work because the priests come up and I hit them up for the sacraments. So, like, I can go make confession at
No
work if I
way.
want to. Yeah.
That's sweet. That's awesome.
A
Wow.
rare moment of peace in the John setting.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let's go.
Has
Because it's
anyone
like,
else has anyone else followed your lead and said, "Hey, I want to do what he's doing"?
no, because I don't like say, like, all right, everybody, go on to confession. I'm just like, oh, hey, Father. And I run after I run after him and walk out, like, floating. And then quickly take a massive dump all over that because I'm like back in the stress of everything and
Right.
at my worst, the worst version of myself. But
You're in,
yeah, for that 10 minutes, it's
well, you're in the trenches. It's just
primo.
it's something else. So you haven't seen Father Stu yet, either of you?
Nope.
No, I want to.
No.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah, and
Is it a Mark Wahlberg film?
yeah, and what's the other guy, the Australian guy there, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's face looks like Mother Teresa's face. It's got all the wrinkles in all the right places. It's like, holy, what a work
Wow.
of art. This guy's face is a work of art, just like Mother Teresa's face. You
Do you
never,
think he's going to do the sequel to The Passion?
I hope so. I've seen all the fake trailers, and it's like, what the heck am I looking at here? And then I realize it's a fake trailer. Like, why is this trailer so
That's
cheap?
so
And
annoying.
why is it so cheap? And then I'm like, is he going down the
Gotcha
tubes?
again, man.
They got me. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a real thing. And then I just like watched one or two of these trailers, and I'm just like, what the hell? His taste
Everybody
levels really
finds every
dropped.
way to scam.
So we'll wrap it up there because my warning is gonna cut off here. But very nice. I'm glad we got together, and we're gonna get your brother Kieran in here next time for sure, and Mr. Murdoch.
And Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And
I wanna get-
Mrs. Murdoch, Miss Murdoch, or
Jennifer.
Yeah, that's right.
But we want to get Stumphauser in here. I don't know if either of you have interacted with Stumphauser, Nick Stumphauser.
I don't even think I watched his video, to be honest
No,
with you. I think
he's
I
done like
you're not
7.
a
He's
good-
done like 6 or
yeah.
7 interviews.
Yeah, I watched his. Yeah, but he's not responding nothing, right?
No, he's traveling around making films, but he's working for a Christian outfit. He's kind of like agnostic. He was raised Catholic, but we'll hope and pray for the best for him. But so thanks for coming on. Have a good night there, and
You too,
I love you.
guys.
I love
Thanks.
you
This was
both. Thanks
fun.
for all the
I love you too, man.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Love you too. No problem. Yeah, and
Nikola, thank you for calling in, man. I'm so glad that like it wasn't just
Yeah, I see.
That would have been
his,
awkward.
email
That
last
would have been
minute. I seen
awkward.
his email last minute, and I see where you at. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even know what was going on. So,
So you
but
just
thanks
did.
You
for
don't
the
see
invite.
David when it's not live, but it's always just Aiden, take off your pants.
So, so we'll talk very soon. God bless you both.
Yeah. All right, boys. Have a good
Later.
one. Thanks.
Have a good one. Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.